What's up, guys? This is Clutch Takes, a channel where we'll be going over NBA and NHL content. In this first video, we'll be talking about the top 10 NBA free agents. We'll be going over my opinion as well as my friends. I hope you like the video. The first free agent I will be going over is Tobias Harris. Now, I think he'll be signing with the Utah Jazz on a 4-year max deal. This forms a big three in the West, gives Utah a legitimate scorer, and Utah capitalizes on their window to compete for a championship with Golden State breaking up.
Hey, this is Evan, and it's going to be the second opinion of the video. My friend Dan talked about Tobias Harris going to Utah Jazz, and I'm going to have to disagree because he's going to the Indiana Pacers for a 4-year max. He's going to get his money, and he's going to be a second option on Oladipo. He wants to stay in the East to be a better chance of being an all-star and being on a good team like Indiana and contending for the finals. Indiana desperately needs offense, and Harris can provide that.
The next player I like to talk about is Khris Middleton. I think he'll be re-signing with the Bucks on a 5-year max deal. The Bucks have already expressed their interest to keep Middleton long-term, and they can have him as a number 2 option on a championship caliber team in the weak East.
Middleton, there are not much changes, in my opinion, than Dan's because I think everyone knows he's going to stay there in 5 years because he might get hurt, and this is prime years. He doesn't know if he's going to keep this play up. I think he will, but he wants to get his money, and he's staying.
For Nikola Vucevic, I think he'll re-sign with the Magic on a 5-year max deal. He led the Magic to the playoffs as their best player, breaking their 7-year drought. He has the opportunity to lead a young ascending team with players like Mo Bamba, Markelle Fultz, and Jonathan Isaac. I think it'll be a great opportunity for him to lead.
See, unlike Dan, I think Vucevic is going to go to the Celtics for a 4-year max. Because of their young core is better than Orlando, I think he has a better chance of more success. Celtics are badly in need of a center with loss of Horford and Baines, and I think that they're a better team with less pressure in the playoffs for Vucevic, because Vucevic seemed to struggle a lot with Gasol on him when they played the Raptors in the first round.
For DAngelo Russell, I feel like it is the most controversial player, but I think he'll ultimately end up signing with the Suns, as Russell is being pushed out by management for other free agents, which will cause him to leave. He will team up with his close friend Devin Booker, as the Suns are in desperate need of a point guard, and finally make a significant splash to get their guy.
With DAngelo Russell ascending as an all-star, honestly, I agree with Dan. He's going to go to the Suns with a 1+1 player option deal, just to make sure if the Suns are on the right track to success.
For Kemba Walker, I think he will ultimately end up leaving Charlotte and signing with the Knicks, as the Knicks will miss on Kyrie and Durant, so they'll spend their money on giving a second-tier free agent max dollars, as he'll sign a 4-year max deal with the New York Knicks.
I'll probably have the most unpopular, boring opinion out of everybody about Kemba Walker's destination. I honestly think he'll probably stay with the Hornets. I don't want it to happen, but I think he's going to sign a 5-year max, get his money there, because honestly I think Michael Jordan's going to persuade him to stay, because he's Michael Jordan, who wouldn't want to play under Michael Jordan's wing. He'll get the most money, like I said, and he'll stay in the East just for a better chance of being an all-star.
For Klay Thompson, although the rumors of the Clippers possibly jumping in, I think he will ultimately end up re-signing with the Golden State Warriors, as the Warriors quickly turn to Klay after letting Kevin Durant walk, quickly signing Klay Thompson to a 5-year max deal.
With Klay, there's not much difference in opinions. Again, I think he's going to stay with Golden State as well with a 5-year max. I think he's Curry's friend. Chance of winning every year, keep the dynasty going. I don't know why he would leave. Get the most money, and just stay.
For Kyrie Irving, I think he will ultimately end up signing with the Brooklyn Nets. He has already signed with Jay-Z's label, Rock Nation, and he's close with Kevin Durant, which is another target for Brooklyn. I think in the end, he will ultimately end up signing a 4-year max deal in Brooklyn.
Ever since Cleveland, Kyrie's been rumored to go to New York for a long time. Until this year, I still think he's going to go to New York, but the Nets are the better team. And I agree with Dan that he's going to the Nets, but I disagree with how long he's going to stay there. I think he's going to stay there for 2 years with a +1 player option, because this guy can't stay in one place for a long time, because he's dramatic, so he's going to have to move around and see what's going to go on.
For Kevin Durant, I think he'll ultimately end up following Kyrie Irving, leaving Golden State, albeit with his Achilles injury, as Kyrie will convince him to team up with Brooklyn, with the Knicks being too far away from contention, as he will also sign a 4-year max deal to team up with him to try to take over the East.
I agree with Dan once again. I think KD is going to go to the Nets because he needs to save his legacy after joining the 73-9 team. It's a big market, and his legacy will be fixed if he wins a ring, and he's friends with Kyrie, so I think they can make magic there if they sign with each other, and I think they're making plans behind the scenes right now.
I think even though with Houston trying to create cap space to sign and trade for Jimmy Butler, that he will end up re-signing with the 76ers. He'll realize with the 76ers that Simmons and Embiid, he'll have the longest window with them, and he'll ultimately sign a 5-year max deal, as they will offer it to him and he will accept it.
Jimmy Butler, one of the most hardworking players in the league and one of the most confusing as well. But I think everyone knows he's going home to the Houston Rockets for a 5-year max deal from a sign and trade of the 76ers. I think he's going to go home. He's going to have a contending team around him with James Harden leading the charge. And he's going to have the max deal that he's always wanted. And he's going to replace Ariza that everybody's been talking about. They've been missing all year.
The last player I would like to talk about is Kawhi Leonard. With the media speculating that he'll be going to the Clippers almost all year round, and with the Raptors almost having no shot at him, the tides have turned with the Raptors taking home the 2019 championship, and he'll end up running it back and re-signing with the Raptors. He will take his meeting with the Clippers, but he'll ultimately re-sign on a 2-year +1 deal, extending the championship window while also leaving the door open to eventually go to the Clippers.
Kawhi Leonard, for the most part, I agree. He's going to sign a 2+1 deal. He has everything in Toronto. I think he has to expand his shoe deal, New Balance, and he has a great city with 2 million people showing up at his parade. He has a big championship window with the East possibly getting weaker and expanding on his legacy with winning more championships outside of the U.S. And honestly, at this point, with all the circumstances of how great this opportunity has for up in Toronto, if he leaves at this point, he's a gutless pig.
That'll do it for our first video for Clutch Takes. Tune in for our next video, NHL predictions. Until then, please like, comment, and subscribe.